What's up, my friends? Welcome to the Proud Papi Podcast. We are in store for a good one. Part 2 of my conversation with Eric is on the way. Check it out. So you, is your wife from this area as well? Or?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys have always lived in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what it's like to have those. So, confession, I don't keep in touch with anyone from high school. The only guy I talk to is Kaleo, but I haven't seen him in years.
Okay.
So shout out to Kaleo. I love you, bro. But everybody else, I don't keep in touch.
Hawaiian.
Yeah, exactly. The flying Hawaiian. That's right. But everybody else, I don't keep in touch with. So, but you do. Mm-hmm. You've shared. What's it like to have those friends that you've kind of grown up with, and now you guys are having kids, right? Because you just shared that your friend, he just had a son,
Yep.
right? Ryan, right?
Coot.
So like, share like what's that like to have boys and you're like, dude, now we're dads.
So he had a daughter first as well.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got to, oh yeah, daughters, look, we're getting our nails painted
and
do that whole thing. Girl dad.
Yeah.
And now that it's with a boy, it's going to be so much different because I remember his dad. I remember my dad. Top of the sidelines or up in the bleachers, screaming and yelling, hooting and hollering. And then I just got to look at him and he already knows. And that's going to be us in, 15 years. And it's exciting. And to get to watch all my friends grow as parents,
right.
to party with everybody that we did in high school and stuff, and
right.
to get to watch them be a father, get to watch them discipline their kid, get to watch them pass things down, implement things into them. It's a side that I've never gotten to see. Some of my best friends of over 30 years.
Right.
I've been best friends with, I would say, my core group, 4 or 5 people for 25 and 30 years. And to see them get to parent their kids, it's awesome because I've never gotten to see them do that.
Yeah.
It's a different side of them. And you're learning something different new about them and how they parent and things like that. And each and every one of them, they can have my kids and I know that they're in good hands.
Yeah. We're sharing kind of similar thing. Like, it is crazy that we're sitting here, we're talking about fatherhood, but we remember the days where we were giving each other DDTs in the living room. Like, it's just a crazy experience. But I think that's like, since becoming a dad, man, it's really like exposed a lot of things about myself that I either knew but hid away or did not know completely. So, like this experience, these last 7 years that you've been a father, like kind of share what that has done for you as a man. Like, how much have you grown in that process?
Oh, I've grown a lot. And people that know me can attest to that.
Yeah.
Seeing my daughters, I want them to be able to have everything.
Yeah.
And it's given me a sense that, they are my responsibility. It's no longer me. They are my responsibility. And if I do want them to have that, well, I got to work hard.
Yeah.
And I got to focus and bust my butt. But also, how do I focus and give them what they really need?
Yeah.
And that's me. And as fathers, we all know that's what we're supposed to do is work. But when do we? I want to balance. I want to find balance. I don't want to just work. I'd rather hang out with the kids. I'd rather change poopy diapers all day and hang out with the kids and things like that. Yeah. And I mean, I did get a chance to do those things for a long while.
Yeah.
I was out of work due to a back injury, and I got to hang out with my daughters. And learn things about them, pick them up from school, take them to school, see who they're friends with, see who they're interacting with, and see how they are with the other kids and the other kids' parents. And it's an amazing thing. And it just brings me nothing but joy to see a smile on their face. Yeah. And each day is different. There's new tasks. There's something different, whether they're sick or they're this or that from school. It's a different objective. It's a different task to do for the day, and it's a joy like no other because they're my best friends. They are my best friends, and we get to hang out and do things that you don't get to do all the time. How often do you get to go in there and just kick your feet up and watch Bluey? I would love to go sit and watch my show.
Yeah.
But I can't. But I get to go and hang out with them and go watch Bluey. I'm kicking my feet up. We're having a great time.
Yeah.
And
great show, by the way.
It's a good show.
Excellent show. Do you watch Eli? Dude, awesome show. Anyways, go ahead, bro. Sorry.
No, just since becoming a dad 7 years ago and knowing that it was no longer about me and what I wanted, it was about them and what they needed.
Yeah.
That's been my number one objective every day, is to wake up and make sure that I have that right foot forward to ensure that they have and are taken care of.
Yeah.
And not just for today, but also for tomorrow.
Right.
And it's instilled a lot in me. It has responsibility, time. You got to beat the bell, and then you got to get there on time.
Yeah.
When we were late, I loved being late to school.
Right.
But now you're not being late.
Yeah, you're going to be on time. So, first one's there.
Yeah. And it's nothing but a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that you have a boy, right? Like, what are some things that you're like, oh man, I'm excited about this, but not sure how I feel about that?
So I have a confession.
Okay.
When, everybody says, oh, you're ready for your boy, you're ready for your boy.
Yeah.
Before our gender reveal, I was kind of like, no, I'm not. Like, yeah, I am. Can't wait.
Yeah.
But I was nervous because not only to be a dad again, but to almost have to learn how to be a dad again, just to a boy. And I have to learn how to become a boy dad now. And that comes with a lot of fear. Again, I talked about me and my father marrying each other. Yeah. Is that history repeating itself?
Yeah.
There's fears in all of those things. But when I look in that little boy's eyes, I know I see me.
Yeah.
And I know that with how I am today and my mindsets and what I hope to be able to implement in my kids, and if I can, I know that little boy is going to be amazing, and he's going to pick up where I'm leaving off now.
Yeah.
And to see that little boy come out, it did hit me in a way that I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I did not think. I had those two little girls, and they broke me to my knees.
Yeah.
But when my little boy came out, it did something it hit me different.
Yeah.
And it was a sense of empowerment. You're passing down your boy.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And I'm enjoying every moment with him, and he's just watching my kid, starting to do his smiles, and it's getting awesome.
That's cool, man. So Fairway Fathers, what's the vision? What's the plan for, like, what do you want to do? Is this something like, hey, this is like something really cool that I could do with my family and we can just kind of have fun with it? Or is this something more than that? Is this like, hey, we really believe in this idea of dads having a community out on the green? Like, what's the vision behind Fairway Fathers?
So our vision, you asked me earlier what's so great about going golfing, and I gave you, 4.5 hours out and about and away. You get all those things. Fairway Fathers, now you're getting to spend that time, not with the buddy who's getting too drunk, or, the bad guy or the good guy who's giving you, crap for being bad. Yeah. You're hanging out with your kid. And I made a reel about this, and I really suggest it. Schedule a tea time with your kid in the late afternoon, and just go and play and watch their smiles. They get to see you in a different environment. They get to see you playing something, whether you like it or not, sports. They get to see you in adversity, pressure, all kinds of different things. And then you get to see them. But let's say you have a bad shot, and then you look over to your right. Well, there's your smile that you needed to break you out of it. Yeah. Fairway Fathers, it's about trying to connect that gap that is between fathers and kids. And there's many reels about it. Father's going to spend 4.5 times while the mom's staying at home with the kids. Well, why? Why does it have to be like that? Right. I told you earlier, my kids are my best friends. And I have friends of over, 20, 25, 30 years. Yeah. But my daughters and my son are my best friends. Yeah. And why not go with them? Sure, I'll go and have fun with you guys every so often, but they are the ones. And if I get to go golf more, sign me up. And two, I get to spend time with them because it's what they need.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm making both happen.
Right.
Well, it's an awesome feeling. And it started as fun. It started with an idea. It's, again, started with some Disneyland shirts.
Yeah.
And then my daughters wanted to have me look good going out to golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been an amazing ride. And to watch what my daughters now talk about. We went to Disneyland, and my daughters were like, "Hey, Dad, do you think we could sell some of these shirts? They're Disneyland shirts." And I said, "Of course, baby." And she said, "Do you think that maybe next time we come to Disneyland, we can maybe bring some other kids?" And I was like, "Bring some other kids?" And she was like, "Yeah, the ones that can't afford to come here."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
I was like, "Baby, yes." We will get something figured out.
Yeah.
But to see her mind work like that,
Right.
is at 7 years old, is just, it blows me away.
Yeah.
And to see her get to, again, spend time with me, whether it's making Disneyland shirts or helping me with the designs, it's time spent.
Yeah.
And it's not textbook. It's not out on the baseball diamond. And
Right.
It's a different way that you don't get to do every day.
Right.
It's how many people make shirts? Not many.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to spend that time with her because
Right.
she has an interest and she loves spending that time with me.
Yeah.
And that's why it's an enjoyment.
Yeah. And then there's an aspect where you don't have to worry about coming up with new designs because your daughters, they look like they're creative.
I have a stack of papers like this from all of the beautiful artwork that they have.
Right.
But no, yes, you get to see your child's imagination work.
Yeah.
And looks like it works thus far on the
Yeah.
shirts.
Yeah, it
and
looks
people
great.
are liking them.
Yeah.
And it hits you where it hurts. It hits
Right.
you in your heart.
Right. So, hey man, I appreciate you taking the time.
Of course.
What is, for all the dads that are watching right now, what is just an encouragement, piece of advice that you would have for them? Maybe something that's kind of carried you through hard times, for dads that are kind of going through a tough time. What is something that you could share with them that would give them some encouragement, bring them up?
I would say put your best foot forward each and every day, and that's all you can do to start your day. Whether it's you're broke, whether it's, your kid's mom is giving you a hard time, courts, whatever it is giving you a hard time, if you wake up each and every single day, put that to the side. When you have your kids and you put that best foot forward, you're starting your day off right. And no matter how hard the day is, I've had $6 in my bank account on a Friday.
Yeah.
After being paid while getting ready to receive my kids.
Yeah.
What am I to do?
Right.
I have a whole 4 or 5 days to feed them. I have $6. But I woke up, put my best foot forward, and then I figured it out. Mm-hmm. And I feel like fathers, we do get the short end of the stick in a lot of situations, some rightfully so.
Yeah.
But others not always. And not every dad is a deadbeat. There is amazing fathers. Maybe their situation isn't ideal, and maybe they're just in that hardship. And so I also say, pay it forward. That movie, Pay It Forward, I watched it as a kid. And if you do the same thing to 3 people, good deeds, it's going to spread this world and do nothing but good. But if you could start by just telling a dad, I was sitting in my front seat that day. I had $6. And this is why I tell this story. Mm-hmm. I was in my front seat, just picked up my $2 in the back, looked at my bank account at the gas station, needing to get gas, looked, started crying, bawling my eyes out. What am I to do?
Yeah.
And I feel like I got out of the car and my daughter started crying. And I went and talked to her and I said, "Hey, baby, it's okay. Everything's all right." She was 2 years old. But a gentleman behind me said, "Hey, man, you're doing a really good job." And I just went,
wow,
thanks.
Yeah.
He paid it forward to me, I believe. He's seen a dad in tears, crying in his front seat with his 2 daughters. He didn't know my bank account situation. He knew nothing about that. All he told me was, "You're doing a good job."
Yeah.
And that's all I needed to hear that day to make it through.
Yeah.
And we made it through that weekend.
Right. I think, and we had talked about this, when a man becomes a father, there's this out of body spiritual experience where you get this, like, you're endowed, like, you know how in the old days people were knighted, and when they were knighted, there was like this honor, this responsibility, this calling on their life, like we're recognizing you as something bigger.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a dad, like and each time that I hold any of my kids, but especially that first one, I felt that calling of like, all right, like, this is what you were born to do, was to take care of this child, you know? And so I feel you on that like there's things, because I don't think that every dad's situation is ideal. I think we go through ideal and unideal. Like we have ups and downs in life.
Oh, yeah.
And the things that pull us through the hard times is that just responsibility of like, I don't have the answer. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to find a way.
I'm going to figure it out.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the true, that's how you know, like, who's a father, is how they handle the situations when things are not the way that you had planned out.
And that's why I say there's a difference between a dad and a father.
Right.
Because everybody's born with a dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a different meaning to actually become a father.
Right.
And you can become a father, but to be a father is different.
Right.
Because to be a father is you're present.
Right.
To be a father, you are implementing and instilling these good values in your children so that they are good people, so that they do become better people than yourself.
Yeah.
And that dad to father is a different meaning in my eyes.
Yeah. And I also say this because I feel like there's a narrative of like dads are kind of deadbeat dads, not present, not engaged. But I was telling Eli this like a couple of weeks ago. Like, I feel, at least in my circles, from who I see, who I'm in touch with, who I talk to, it's like the opposite. I'm seeing men like being killer dad. Like the guys,
above and beyond.
Yeah, the men are stepping up. They're filling those fatherly roles, fathering their kids, being there for their wives or their significant other. Like I'm seeing opposite.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that, we just got back in touch again, but bro, you're like, you're part of that. Like, I'm seeing, like, every guy that I'm talking to, it's like, yeah, man, like, I'm really trying here, and this is what I'm doing. And it's like, dude, like, I'm getting ideas. I'm like, oh shoot, like, yeah, I got to do that. That's a great idea. So I feel like in what the community that's building here with this, even with this podcast, bro, I was like, dude, there's some awesome dads that are doing a fantastic job.
And that's why I'm thankful for you guys' podcast and exposing those dads, because, again, not everybody is a deadbeat. And there's such a bad stereotype.
Yeah.
And I have been in the court system with the kids and stuff like that. And you start out with the lower hand.
Right.
You do. And, shout out to all the moms. You guys do an amazing job.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know what? I feel as a father, there's only one thing that I cannot do at the end of the day. Yeah. Well, give birth, yes. But breastfeed, I can't do those. But at the end of the day, and I think that every man in the house should live up to that. Every dad should be changing diapers.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It shouldn't be video game. You could get your video games in, you could get your golf in, or whatever it is that you do. Yeah. You can get that in. Find the time. Yeah. But also change that diaper. Yeah. And that was a big thing for me. And to kind of feel doubted. And when I separated from my kid's mom, I felt that doubt. Like, oh, he's just another dad. Oh, he's just going to get him on the weekends. Yeah. Oh, Saturday and Sunday dad. Yeah. I want it. I want every day. Yeah. I want Friday every single day. Yeah. And I wouldn't stop until it was fair for everybody. Yeah. And it's hard. Yeah. It really is hard for dads.
I think that's cool though, because like you made that decision, you know what I mean? Like your situation wasn't great. Like I'm sure, going into that relationship, like, yeah, you would have loved for that thing to work out. It didn't work out, but there was a decision you had to make, whether you were going to just follow the back or you were going to go to the front, and you chose to go to the front.
And at that time, I was just jumped into working UPS. Yeah, I was doing tile with my dad, jumped in. I was making $16 an hour at the time. and it is a lot of worries and stuff with two little girls at that time. Yeah.
Well, dude, you're bro, I think you've, in our communication and like me just trying to hear your story, like where you're coming from, what you've shared here is like a blessing to me. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you sharing your experience. I appreciate you sharing the encouragement, because, man, like some of the things you were saying really like resonated with me. I'm a huge believer that us being the best fathers we can be is really like a high calling. Mm-hmm. It's a high calling from God. It's how God intended things to be when God created everything. And so when I see men step up and like be fathers of their children and play that role, like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it works.
Yeah.
You know, who would have thought? You know, when things click, they work.
And the best part is kind of like you said, it's empowering to see you doing it and being an amazing father.
Right.
Because and I'm hearing things from you that I'm gonna go home and
steal,
and I'm gonna go and try to put down. Yeah. And when you see those things, it's like it's gonna grow. Yeah. And good things grow. Yeah. And I can't wait to see what 15, 20 years, I hope that narrative about fathers is completely different. Yeah, for sure. And I hope it's all... We're going to do what we can to change that. Yeah, heck yeah. We're going to, challenge our friends and be there for those guys who need that. And we'll be the agents of that. We'll be the guys who are like really pushing that change. People can follow you where? Fairwayfathers.com, Instagram, Fairway Fathers. And big things coming this year. You got some more designs coming, some hats coming. Yep, and we're sponsoring a few tournaments locally. We'll be out at Edgewood in July. You can come hang out. Check us out. And so you already got like golfers signed up for that already? We've sponsored a few tournaments for charities and whatnot to get our name out there. That's cool. And stuff like that. We're making a trip out to the Celebrity Pro-Am. We're getting a big house and whatnot. Gonna go hang out there and go have some fun. Yeah, so support Fairway Fathers. Yes, go get a shirt thank you. Designed by his beautiful daughters that will feature his son soon. Yes, very soon. let him get a couple teeth. Yeah. Got to say a big thanks to my friend Eric for coming on the show. I loved our conversation. Listen, if you want to get some of his shirts, you can do that at fairwayfathers.com. Again, all of his designs are done by his daughters and they're amazing. The shirts are comfortable. You can also follow him on Instagram at Fairway Fathers. Follow him. He's dropping all the content of fatherhood and playing on the fairway together on one account. Guys, go ahead and follow him right now. Eric, thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. Appreciate you. Let me know in the comments right now, what is something that Eric said that motivates you to be a better dad? Man, he dropped a lot of good nuggets, a lot of good one-liners that have really changed his life. But share with me, what is something that he said that's going to motivate you to be a better dad? And listen, if you love and you want content just like this, go ahead and give us a follow. We drop new videos every week and it's all about fatherhood, all for the proud papis that are out there. Hope you guys have a great week. I love you. Until next time, peace out.